In a world where your worth is decided by your talent, and those talents are called petals, one absolute loser named Toya spent his entire life trying to be like his older brother Seiya, who had petals literally blooming out of his neck. But Toya had nothing, so the pathetic failure killed himself. Instead of staying dead like a normal person, he stumbled onto a special petal that lets him steal other people's talents. Now, this dead broke reject has one goal: steal every talent in existence and become the most talented person in history. At Toya's school, students are losing their minds on social media over something called battles. Rumor has it that wherever petals show up, something terrible is about to happen. Most people have no clue what petals even are, but Toya knows exactly what they are because he's been obsessing over them his entire miserable life. Anyone with petals has a unique talent. A strange transfer student named Haito arrives and immediately fixates on Toya. After school, she cuts him off on the street, pointing out the dark circles under his eyes and asking if he's been doing some kind of intense research. Toya panics, mumbles something about having work to do, and scurries away like a rat. As he leaves, Haito is already on the phone with someone named Newman, whispering that he was right. Toya's eyes really do remind her of someone. That night, a creepy man that everyone's been mocking online drags a girl into the shadows and murders her. When the police show up, they're paralyzed by an unnatural terror. Toya wanders through the scene shortly after, finding the policeman already dead on the ground. The fat man stands there, his strange belts waving in the air. Watching those belts flutter, Toya burns with raw jealousy. "Are you jealous?" a voice asks from behind. Haito walks up casually, telling Toya she knows his obsession with talent is eating him alive. She turns to the murderer, mockingly calling him a fish, and noting he looks like he's having the time of his life. The fish grins, revealing that Haito is actually the reason he acquired this dark talent in the first place, making it only fair that he kills her too. He attacks instantly, and the two vanish from sight in a blur of speed. In the aftermath, Haito introduces Toya to Newman. Toya learns that Haito carries a sinister weapon called the Branch of Reincarnation. With this disgusting tool, you literally cut yourself open, die, and come back to life, awakening a talent from your past life into a real power in this one. Suddenly, the fish tracks them down. Haito activates her talent, and petals violently erupt from her entire body. With her eyes glowing and petals filling the air, Toya realizes her power belongs to the legendary past life warrior, Musashi. Newman explains that once you awaken a past life talent, your entire personality can shift to match it. This is why legendary heroes and horrific villains keep reincarnating into this world. The righteous are called greats. The wicked reborn dictators, serial killers, and murderers are called fish. And greats exist solely to destroy them. Amidst all this chaos, Toya gets his hands on the Branch of Reincarnation. The second he lays eyes on it, a disturbing smile creeps across his face. While Haito tears the fish to pieces, Toya slips away unnoticed. In the quiet of Toya's room, leaves blow outside the window. He has already used the blade on himself. Plunged into darkness, he drowns in memories of his brother, Seiya. When he finally opens his eyes, a blood-soaked Haito is standing over him. She notes that he has already awakened his petals, then asks whose name he was muttering in his sleep. Toya finally unloads everything. His older brother Seiya spent years mastering sports and earning respect, while Toya was nothing but the family's embarrassment. His parents cursed him daily. When Seiya got sick and died, leaving the family with no talent at all, they blamed Toya and threw him out like garbage. Now Toya's entire reason for living is revenge. He wants to burn every single person who ever mocked him for being a failure. Newman contacts them with a new objective: A powerful fish known as Senior Returner, aka World 3, has appeared in the Great Forest. Newman wants Haito to fight him head-on, while Toya hides in the shadows, recording the battle and gathering intel. The mission is set for 2 days from now. While walking the streets, Toya hears a woman screaming about a purse snatcher. It is the perfect opportunity to test his new power. He activates his ability and calmly watches the thief jog right past him. The furious woman runs up, demanding to know why he didn't stop the man. Toya tells her he already got everything back. Enraged that her designer bag is still gone, she sprints after the thief herself. What Toya actually did was far more sinister. His hand can phase through any wall, object, and most horrifyingly, any human body. When he reached for the stolen items, he plunged his hand directly into the thief's body, draining a massive amount of blood. Moments later, the thief collapses unconscious in the middle of the street. But that isn't even his scariest ability. Toya harbors a power even Newman doesn't know about yet. He can steal anyone's talent entirely. The mission begins. Haito engages World 3. While Toya watches from the shadows, World 3's thorny power beats Haito senseless, and he celebrates like a maniac, promising to take her life. Suddenly, a hand phases straight through the wall behind him. Toya steals something from World 3 so seamlessly that the villain doesn't even realize it happened, assuming Toya just got lucky. Before World 3 can attack again, a mysterious voice echoes through the area, ordering an immediate retreat. World 3 vanishes on the spot. The strange voice then speaks to Toya with unsettling familiarity, noting that he looks exactly like someone he knows. A few days later, World 3 comes crawling back to Toya, shaking and humiliated. Too ashamed to admit nobody took his power, he begs Toya to give it back. Toya flashes a wide, disgusting smile, activates World 3's own stolen power against him, and kills him with it. Standing over the corpse, Toya reflects on Newman's words about the heroes being called greats. But he has absolutely no interest in becoming great. He will steal the talent of every single person who crosses his path. He will keep taking and taking and taking until he is the last person left in history who holds every talent ever known. Toya finally dragged himself out of bed and got ready. He gets on the phone with Newman, who tells him that before going to destroy the evil returner, he has to make a stop first. Toya asks where. Turns out he has to go pick up Haito. And when they get there, they find her dead asleep inside what is essentially a dojo stadium. Toya wakes her up, and Newman immediately starts going in on her, telling her she's making a complete mockery of her talent by sleeping like this. Haito fires back that she trains too much and needs the rest. Newman tells her that with the talent she has, she shouldn't need any training at all. But Haito tells him she trained specifically to polish her talents even further. And just like that, the two of them head off to destroy the evil returner. The target is a clown-like being who has slaughtered countless people and earned himself the nickname Killer Clown. And when they arrive at his territory, the whole place is set up exactly like a circus with ropes tied between trees everywhere. Suddenly, a powerful attack flies at them out of nowhere. And before they can even figure out where it came from, Killer Clown appears above the ropes and welcomes them to his circus, warning them they will absolutely die there. It's a genuinely unsettling scene, everything executed perfectly, like a real circus performance. But then Haito activates her skill and moves with the speed of a bullet train, slicing his entire body clean in half in a single strike. Killer Clown is gone before he even finishes his speech. Then, Newman immediately starts yelling at her, telling her he specifically said not to finish him in one hit because he wanted Toya to gain some fighting experience. Haito just shrugs and says she got a little too excited. Then we shift to the next scene where the whole area is being monitored by a group of commandos, watching from a distance. Another evil returner appears, this one wielding a pair of scissors as his weapon and using them to kill people. Toya appears in front of him and Hayito activates her skill to chase him down. But the returner bolts. Then a girl named Newton drops from above and uses gravity to sink him into the ground. He escapes. But then another girl with the talent of teleportation appears, grabs his hand and teleports straight back, severing his hand completely in the process. Extraordinary talent. Then someone from behind points a gun at the evil returner and orders him to surrender. Obviously, that doesn't happen. The returner spins around and drives his scissors straight into the guy's neck with enough force to split a normal person in two. But absolutely nothing happens to him. Instead, the guy just fires a bullet straight into the returner's stomach and puts him down. We then learn his talent is Undead Soldier, meaning he literally cannot die. Then on the other side, another member of the group shows up, and it turns out his talent is creating replicas of himself. Incredible talents across the board. Eventually, we learn that Hayito and all these people are actually on the same team. They all regroup and return to Newman. The undead soldier gets immediately hugged by a girl whose talent is healing, and whoever she hugs is instantly recovered. Then Newman notices Toya sitting alone, completely separated from the group, while everyone else is celebrating. He asks Toya what he's doing sitting by himself. Then Newton appears behind him and tells him she's heard a lot about him from Newman. Toya tells her it's nothing special and that he was just messing with the monitors. But then he starts to realize that everyone here has something in common with him. They all had some kind of flaw and became returners to fill it. Then one of the other members steps forward and tells the group that she's been watching Toya and that his talent is completely evil. A thief who steals other people's talents has no place on their team, and she thinks they should remove him. But Newman refuses. Haito also jumps in, telling them that she enrolled him herself, and to at least observe him for a while before making any decisions. The group reluctantly agrees. Later, as Haito walks home with Toya, she asks him if it bothered him hearing that girl call him completely evil. Toya tells her it didn't, because he's been hearing that his whole life. Then the lights come on inside Toya's house, and when they go inside, a man is already sitting there. A man with an incredible presence and an extraordinary character design. He's brought a stack of comics for Toya, which Toya immediately threatens to throw away. But then Toya explains to Haito that this man is no ordinary person. He's incredibly intelligent, a powerful martial artist, and has even joined the police force. Haito is genuinely impressed. The man waves it off, saying it's nothing special. Then he looks at Haito and casually asks Toya if she's his girlfriend. Toya denies it immediately, but the man takes one look at the situation and confirms to himself that she absolutely is. Then he pulls out a photo and explains that he was actually Toya's brother's friend, and that his brother used to chase after a girl but was always too buried in work to ever act on it. So this man looked after him like a big brother. He then starts listing everything Toya has failed to accomplish, calling him a complete loser who hasn't achieved anything. Toya snaps and activates his talent right in front of him. But the man looks at it and tells him that this is exactly the kind of talent the organization uses. People who steal from their past lives instead of building their future. He tells Toya that he has truly stopped believing in his own future. Toya admits he's right. And the man tells him straight to his face that someone who gave up on their future to dig through their past is the definition of a loser. Haito has heard enough. She transforms and puts her sword directly to his throat, but this man is so absurdly powerful that he knocks her down without breaking a sweat. Then he looks at her on the ground and tells her she's very lucky she's Toya's girlfriend, otherwise he would have killed her. Then he tells Toya he should leave now because he has truly become a great loser and walks out. But Toya tells him that he has no problem with this talent, and that one day, with this very talent, he will surpass even his brother. We then discover that this man is actually the commander of the same team, the same group we saw at the clown's territory. He dismisses his team for the day and tells them there's nothing more to do. Then a car pulls up and someone asks him why he left a woman behind. He gets in and drives off. Meanwhile, Hayato finally opens up to Toya about her own past. She tells him that she used to be completely ordinary with no talent at all. She had unusual hair and was bullied relentlessly because of it. Her parents had abandoned her as a child and left her in an orphanage where people hated her constantly. But one day, a man adopted her. He was the owner of a dojo and began teaching her alongside his other students. He became like a father to her. But even after training for years, she realized she had no natural talent for it. Then she discovered the branch of reincarnation and used it to unleash a power inside herself. But when she fought her adoptive father, she injured him badly enough to shut the dojo down, and he kicked her out. Now she tells Toya she has to become a complete returner no matter what, so she can go back to her father and prove to him that she made the right choice. We then see the commander in his car telling himself that he thought Toya was a good person, but that he grew up in a completely wrong environment, and it made him who he is today. Then we cut to Toya talking with Newman, who asks him what he thinks the difference is between them. Toya jokes that they look different, but Newman tells him seriously that returners like himself can maintain their reincarnation state for as long as they want, while Toya and Hayato have a time limit. After that limit, they revert back to their human form. So to become a true full-fledged returner, they need to master the ability to hold their reincarnation state indefinitely. Hayato immediately declares she is completely ready. Then Toya asks Hayato to come with him and shows her a new skill he stole from the thief, the one that transforms small pieces of iron into massive razor-sharp constructs instantly. Hayato stares at it and tells him it's an extraordinary skill and asks if he actually stole it. Then she tells him to think about it, because the fact that he can steal anyone's talent makes him a threat to everyone, including her. But she says it doesn't matter because without testing it on people, there's no way to know if someone has real potential with a stolen skill. Then she activates her skill, pins him to the wall, and demands to know why he hasn't tried to steal her talent yet. She asks if it's because he still thinks she's too weak. Then she tells him that she plans to train until the day comes when everyone wants to steal her skills, and she wants him to be one of them. They both make a promise that the day will come when they fight each other. Toya promises to accumulate every skill he can so that when that day comes, he'll be ready to take hers. And they seal it with a pinky promise, a reincarnated man who looks like a professor but is anything but. He tells the people who captured him that he allowed himself to be caught because there was absolutely no way they could have taken him otherwise. And the man who caught him turns out to be none other than Toya's friend. He confronts the professor, telling him that everything he warned them about is now coming true and that people are bringing their past talents into this world. He even shows him the branch of reincarnation knife, mentioning that he saw Toya using it himself. The professor tells him he's completely right and that their king is coming, the most dangerous talent among all returners. Toya's friend threatens him to give up everything he knows. The professor doesn't even flinch, so the friend orders his men to open fire. Nothing happens. He opens his hands and tells them he got himself captured on purpose, and warns them that if they don't release him, things will get very ugly. Afraid for his men's lives, Toya's friend lets him go. But before leaving, the professor tells them that their master is coming, and after he arrives, they will attack and kill everyone. On another side, Newman's companions stumble upon a man with a strange and dangerous aura they can't quite read. Back at headquarters, they report everything to Newman, describing a strange smoke coming off the man. Toya immediately recognizes who they're describing. Then every monitor in their headquarters flashes with the same man's eyes. He speaks directly to Newman, telling him that while Newman uses his power for humanity, they use their talents for their own freedom. He warns them he will destroy their entire organization and disappears. Newman then reveals that this man's name is Xing Yu, the most dangerous returner alive, one of the 5 founding members of Newman's own organization, whose original leader was none other than Toya's brother. Toya barely knows anything about this yet. Newman then reveals that when their original leader was killed, Xing Yu was the one who did it. Toya doesn't react much to any of this. His only concern is stealing talents and becoming more powerful. That's it. The next day, the full attack begins. When they arrive, a romantic member of the group immediately grabs Haito and tells her she looks just as beautiful as before. Haito puts a sword to his throat instantly. Then they all meet Toya as the new member. And it turns out their entire worldwide organization has sent everyone nearby to join the assault. Newman lays out the plan. 3 attack routes. Each person is assigned to a specific path. Toya is placed with a sniper, which he hates because stealing skills in front of people is a massive problem for him. He'd rather go alone, but the mission starts regardless. They breach the gate. A girl with the power of flight carries a satellite so Newman can monitor everything from above. Hato separates from the group, telling herself she can't get attached to her teammates or she'll never be able to take their skills. Then chaos breaks out across all 3 routes. On one path, a cat-like scout from Newman's team fights a powerful enemy who turns out to be completely unkillable. His talent is dimensional shifting, letting him identify which dimension he survives in and simply adopt it. He cannot die. On another path, an old man fights using animal talents, absorbing and evolving any creature's abilities into his own. And Newman himself commands an army of chess soldiers that come to life in real combat. In the middle of all this, Toya spots a hidden enemy whose talent lets him disappear completely, hiding his presence, his body, even his voice, to the point where you can't even feel him. Toya's eyes light up. He tells himself that if he could steal that skill, he could do absolutely anything. Meanwhile, the sniper fighting alongside Toya starts to remember that Newman specifically told him to watch Toya closely because his talent is theft, and there's a chance he might be a spy. Then, on another front, an enemy sniper opens fire on Newman's forces and takes down the girl flying with the satellite, the first casualty on Newman's side. Then, the real king of the evil returners finally reveals himself. A strange being covered in eyes across his entire body. He announces he has 5 of his most dangerous soldiers ready and begins sending them all into battle. Toya uses the stolen skill from the evil organization he fought earlier and saves the sniper's life. But the sniper immediately points his gun at Toya and demands to know if he's a spy. Toya tells him he's not a spy,